Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our panel session. We're just getting started here, and I have a few more folks that are joining in the room. So we'll get started here in just a few minutes, but I just want to thank our panelists and all of our students for joining us. We'll be getting started soon. All right, I'll take about one more minute. I have a few more folks that are entering the room. All right. Well, we will go ahead and get started this morning. I want to thank all of our panelists for joining us, as well as our incoming students. My name is Haley Anderson, and I serve as Assistant Director for Leadership Programming with the Ole Miss Student Union. And I'm excited to moderate our panel today for all of our women's and multicultural student organizations. Hope to get a lot of really good conversation going. Just to kind of talk y'all through what our panel will look like today. If you haven't joined us yet this week for virtual involvement, we're going to go through a series of questions that I have for our organization representatives, and then org reps at the very end. If there's anything we haven't touched on, or if there's additional resources you want to share, I'll defer to you at the end to share all of that. And then students, there's going to be a Q&A period at the end where you can ask your questions and chat with our org reps as well. So we'll have 90 minutes allotted. If we go under, that's completely fine as well. I also want to encourage everyone to utilize the chat function. So students, if you have direct questions, you can submit them there. Org reps, if you want to share contact information or resources, you can submit that in the chat as well. I see everyone does have their mute button on. We'll just kind of maintain that throughout the Zoom session. I know y'all probably have been in on plenty of Zoom so far this summer and the end of last year. So I think we kind of know Zoom etiquette, what have you by now. So unmute whenever you're speaking, keep that mute button on. Otherwise, I do want to share also, we're using Otter Live Notes. So in just a minute, I'm going to post that live URL so you can see a transcript of the session that will be posted later on. We're going to also capture a recording of our time together that will be uploaded to the Student Union website with the captions overlaying on that video. So if anyone misses a part or wants to go back and review a part of our session or share it with a friend, that resource will be available to y'all. Panelists, we do have a handful of groups on today, so we'll just make sure that we're keeping the conversation flowing. Definitely get out your message, but stay as succinct as possible just so we can get to all of our wonderful orgs and the great things you have to share. and we'll just go ahead and get started. To avoid any confusion, I'm going to go ahead and post a speaking order for orgs. So those are listed right there in the chat. So we'll kick things off with Men of Excellence and then just go down the list from there. So just refer to that orgs throughout our time as we go throughout the questions. And then next, I'm going to post that streaming link that I had mentioned. That's where you can view the live transcript of our session. So orgs, to kick us off, if you would, please just share your name, your position within your organization, and then your classification, your year, and your major as well for our students that have joined us. So Men of Excellence, I will kick things over to y'all to get us started. Okay, if we don't have a Men of Excellence rep on the call, we can always jump back over there later. Do we have Ole Miss German Club? Okay, perfect.
There's two of us. I'm going to let Josh talk, but I'm here to I'm a student advisor, so to answer any questions he can't answer. But I'm Michaela Jordan, by the way. I'm a 5th-year senior, well, starting in August. I've been in the German Club since my freshman year, and it's kind of just taken it's had a rebirth. So we're kind of new, kind of not. Super excited to meet all of y'all and hopefully see you guys in person a little bit on campus in the fall. So Josh, you can talk.
Hey everyone, so I'm a senior. Name is Josh Davis. I'm a German major. I actually just switched right before all this happened. I was originally a linguistics major, minoring in German, so I switched the two just because I ended up loving German so much. I wanted to teach English and German in high school. I went to Germany whenever I was a senior in high school, to Berlin for 10 days. So that's kind of where my love for the language and culture started. And yeah, I basically just did everything I could with the German club last semester because I wanted to practice, speaking and all of that. It was great. Loved every second of it. We meet every week. We met in the Honors College for Cafe Stunde, where we would just get together, and our leader, Mr. Kai Wash, faculty leader, he would brew us coffee and we would just sit around and talk. Sometimes we would have people bring other things, traditional German food, and sometimes people would bring things from their travels and we would discuss that and everything. So it was just very laid back. Anytime conversation broke down in German, which happened fairly quickly, we would just speak in English. And then we had Filmabend, which was every first Thursday of every month, and we would get together and watch a German film. We also did a couple fundraisers. We don't have a whole lot of funds, so we weren't able to do a whole lot past the Filmabend and the Cafe Stunde. However, we were able to fundraise a little bit, and we did something on campus. I'm going to let Michaela talk about it because I wasn't there for this. It was for the anniversary of the Berlin Wall. We did something like that, and we're going to try and do something other than those two things, maybe a little bit as well. Go ahead, Michaela.
The thing that we did on campus that was kind of we made it into an event. We just tailgated in the Grove for the first time. So that was really fun. We got a tent because we raised enough money to buy that. And we actually had a game on was it 19 year? I don't know. I don't do math very well. But the anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall fell on the LSU game or something like that. So we built a cardboard wall in the tent or whatever, and that was really cool. So we just kind of we try to find ways to celebrate German culture and history when we can. It's not all just talking in German, so don't be intimidated by that. We have people who don't even take German classes who just come because they think it's interesting. So the other thing that we are going to try to do, but will probably look really different this year because of COVID-19, is an Oktoberfest. We had originally planned to do that on the square, rent a venue kind of deal, sell tickets, but depending on how COVID goes, that might take a little bit of a different shape. But we just like to get together and have fun. And so, yeah, if you have any questions, we have social media pages on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. those are all in the video that is going out this week. I don't know. Do you know anything about that? I don't know what your name is, but anyway, there's videos that were going around, and so those have all of our social media links. I can also put them in the chat in a minute, but we'll be like posting stuff about events and meeting times and things, even if they look a little different. But yeah, that's about all I got.
Awesome. Thank you, German Club. Next, we have Almost Vietnamese American Student Association.
Hey guys, my name is Marjorie. I'm a rising senior and I'm a transfer student here. I'm a biochemistry major and I'm the internal vice president of Ole Miss Student Association. We say it short for Old Vasa because that's just like a lot of syllables to say and it's kind of a mouthful. I do want to say that it's not just Vietnamese people or like just Asians. We are a very diverse club. You'll see our next person speak. Alyssa, she's not Asian, but she is very involved. But yeah, I'll let Alyssa talk.
Hey y'all, I'm Alyssa Whitehead. I'm co-social chair of the Vietnamese American Student Association, or OLVASA, and I'm a rising junior studying psychology. And like Marjorie said, I'm not Asian, but I love Vietnamese culture and I love how everyone comes together in our organization and just becomes more educated, more involved in Vietnamese culture. So yeah.
Thank y'all so much, Rebel Irish Dancers.
Hi, I'm Abby Malson. I'm the president of Rebel Irish Dancers. I am a rising junior, and I major in English education with a certification in French. And then Gabby is also here.
Hi, I'm Gabby. I am an rising sophomore. I'm an IMC major with a fashion focus, and then I'm double minoring in business and professional writing. And I am the social media and events coordinator for Rebel Irish Dancers. And then I'll let Abby talk a little bit about what we do.
Okay, so in the fall, we usually do open practices as well as performance practices. So we'll have 2 practices a week, one of each of those, and then that's to get us ready for the spring, St. Patrick's Day, when we do a bunch of performances all around Oxford. We'll be on the square, we'll be in some schools, just different places across campus, and it's a lot of fun. You don't have to have any experience to join us, but we're really excited to have you guys, and we hope to see a bunch of you there.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much for joining us. And then Esteem, do we have anyone from Esteem?
Yeah, I'm here. Hey everyone, my name is Rikia Fairley. I'm a rising senior majoring in allied health studies from South Haven, Mississippi, and I am the president for Esteem. Esteem stands for Educated, Successful, Talented, Evolving, and Empowered and Motivated Women. We are a big minority girl group on campus. It's basically for girls who, it's a safe place for girls on campus, basically, you know, especially if you're coming in as a freshman, you don't know too many people or anything. You can meet new people. You can find out about other organizations through joining Esteem. And so we hold community service events. We hold events for our members, and we hold public events for everyone to come. Every year we hold a breast cancer walk to raise money for the breast cancer month. And so we do a lot of things within the community and on campus.
All right, thank you so much. And then we also have Her Campus. Anyone from Her Campus Ole Miss? Okay, I know we have our African and Caribbean Student Association here as well.
Yeah, hello. My name is Oluwaseyi Shofola Bakari, and I'm the president of the African and Caribbean Student Association. I'm a graduate student and I'm majoring in chemical engineering. So the African and Caribbean Student Association seeks to provide a platform by which students of African and Caribbean descent can engage with other students who share their cultural heritage. But we also seek to engage the broader Ole Miss community by hosting events such as our cultural nights, where we invite students from the Ole Miss community to come and partake of African culture. We serve African and Caribbean food. We also put on dance presentations and poem recitals and other presentations to help you guys get to know about African culture. We also host a movie night where we pick one of the top African or Caribbean movies and showcase it to the Ole Miss community. So if you're looking to join us or to participate in one of our events, please let us know and we'll be glad to engage with you.
Well, thank you all so much for those introductions. I know a lot of you shared a couple of examples of events and things that you do. We're going to do one more go around. So if you've already kind of spoken on this, feel free to skip. But I would like for everyone to share more about the purpose of your organization. So tell us about sort of your mission and vision, what your organization values, and what contribution do you make to the Ole Miss campus and community. So we'll just start back from the top with Men of Excellence. And also if I missed anyone or if any orgs joined in late, feel free to reintroduce if you didn't get a chance to do your introduction. And we'll just go back through the list. German Club, y'all can take it away. I don't think that we have Men of Excellence here right now.
Michaela, do you want to give them this?
Okay, yeah. Okay, so we actually have like a mission statement written out on our forum page, and it just says, the German Club is the embodiment of the German department at the University of Mississippi. We involve ourselves in a variety of German-related activities within the Ole Miss community every week, and our events are open to all members, regardless of German language knowledge. It doesn't, and I kind of said this earlier, it doesn't matter if you speak German, if you're learning German, if you just like the culture, it's open to everyone. And we just kind of seek to build bridges and kind of connect people of different backgrounds and cultures and interests. So yeah, I think, was that the question? Like what our purpose was? Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, thank you, Michaela.
Yeah.
All right, we can keep going. Ole Miss Vasa.
Okay, so our mission is primarily to promote an understanding of the Vietnamese and Asian culture at the university community, as well as just the Oxford community in general. And we have 6 pillars, and my pillar as internal vice president, I focus primarily on philanthropy. And so I do things like find jobs opportunities of enrichment and volunteering in the community, our local Oxford community, as well as the international Vietnamese community. An example of something really big that we've done is date auction. We fundraise thousands of dollars, and we work regionally with LSU, Mississippi State, USM, and we go to New Orleans and they perform. And last year we made $14,000. We made like $18,000 one time before. And yeah, our main goal, and also it's really just like a safe space for all of us. Some of us, going to university life is really stressful. And, I'm a transfer student. I came here my junior year, upperclassman, and I don't really know anybody. So finding some safe space where you can relate to some people when you're most stressed is also it kind of just goes with with the club. Alyssa, do you have anything to add to that?
I think you did a great job. Yeah, we really focus on just engaging all students in a really educational and fun atmosphere, learning about Vietnamese and Asian cultures. Yeah, I'm co-social chair, so I mainly focus, along with my co-social chair, Vivian, on creating events that promote that understanding and promote an educational and fun space, and a long list of events for students to participate in. So yeah, that's basically a little bit of what we do.
Thank y'all so much. Rebel Irish Dancers, anything y'all want to add to your what you shared earlier?
Sure. So basically going off of what Abby said is that we kind of try to reach, Irish dance in itself is kind of a specific thing, but we try to reach a lot of different audiences and bring together different types of people. So when we have our open practices, we have, a big range of people from world champion experienced Irish dancers who've danced in Ireland to people who just appreciate Irish culture and want to come get a little bit more of that and think it's cool, and like also people that just want to get some exercise in, and want to, you know, just come with their friends and kind of learn about more about what it is to Irish dance and participate in the sport. So you find a lot of different people coming in from there, and we try to accommodate everyone's needs so everyone can have fun and just kind of get together and bring their friends. So then when second semester rolls around and we start to get into, you know, the show scene, the people who had fun and enjoyed themselves first semester from coming to our open practices decide that they want to dedicate a little bit more of their time and perform for people. So that's when we get our team together and we practice a little bit more, and we have the opportunity to perform at a variety of events to entertain and to just kind of have fun for ourselves, like at Rebelthon, at, you know, around the square, other places like that, like nursing homes. So you really reach a wide audience of people, and it doesn't mean you have to be, you know, Irish dancing for 12 years of your life. You can just walk in one day. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank y'all so much. And then Esteem.
So like I said earlier, we just primary purpose is really to just make sure that we're helping to provide opportunities for minority women on campus, making sure that we're helping each other, you know, with classes. We might have the same classes together, so making sure that we're helping each other with that, helping each other find things on campus, making sure that we have resources for each and every one of our members on campus. So it's really just to make sure that we're helping each other and making sure that we're able to ensure opportunities for each and every one of our members.
Thank you so much. Anyone from her campus that I missed earlier on the call? Okay, then we will kick things back over to our African and Caribbean Student Association. Tell us about your mission and values.
Okay, so basically, the African and Caribbean Student Association seeks to provide a home away from home and a community whereby African and Caribbean students of African and Caribbean descent can engage with other students. We also looking to provide mentorship services and scholarship services to ensure that you are able to meet your goals here at Ole Miss.
Well, thank y'all so much. So on this next question, and a few of you shared some specific events earlier, but I'd love to hear from everyone again about what's your favorite thing about your organization that you do each year. So this could be a event, a program, a training, you know, just like a fun memory, something like that. So give us some examples of things that you do every year. So we'll take things back to the top with our German club.
Okay, so one thing I haven't mentioned yet, because we didn't get to do it this last year, is our partnership with the Rebel Global Connections organization. With the exception of this past year, we've always gone to Clarksdale Intermediate School in Clarksdale, Mississippi. It's like, I don't know, a 45-minute, hour drive. And we just get a bunch of people together from all of the different cultural organizations. And even if they're not an organization, if we have some representatives of people who share an interest in that culture, and we all just go to this school and we participate in International Passport Day. And so we set up booths, well, like tables, with informative little trifold boulder posters, and share about language and traditional dress and food and things like that, which is really interesting for some of the kids who have never been out of their little town, and they get a huge kick out of it. They bring little passports with them and we stamp it, or, you know, like sign it with a cool word in our language. And so that's really fun. I appreciate the community outreach. And I mean, I'm going to be a social studies teacher, so I just really enjoy any opportunity I can to interact with kids. So that's one way that we can contribute to the community. And I think that would be probably my favorite. Josh, do you have a favorite?
Well, let's see. I was a member all of last year, And the big event that we had, which Michaela described earlier, I was not able to attend that particular one. I'm sure that would have been my favorite had I been there. However, I guess my favorite would have to be just being involved every week. I mean, I truly just love being there. I love drinking coffee with everyone on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. Um, Dr. Kai Waj would always bring some good cookies, and everybody, one time I remember we have a girl who comes periodically she is from Russia, and so for International Pancake Day, she brought Russian pancakes. So that was awesome. So just we get a lot of variety. We get a lot of there's been even some other faculty from other departments who have traveled to Germany who came in with a bunch of their things from their travels to kind of show us and go over with us. I love all of that stuff. So that's my favorite.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for sharing those events. Vasa.
As I mentioned earlier, date auction, so obviously that one was my favorite, but I think my next favorite one would probably be Culture Show, which unfortunately got canceled. It's our big spring event. It got canceled because of Corona, but oh well, we can remain hopeful for another year. But that's where we have all the other schools also that I mentioned earlier in the region. They'll come and we all have performances. We have, you can do the lion dance. People have their little secret talents that they can sing or anything they can do, dance performances. And that's also another opportunity for us to raise money. And, our mission was to promote an understanding of our culture and just have some kind of fun thing for us all to do. Alyssa, what's your favorite?
Yeah, it's hard to pick because anytime we all gather, it's such a beautiful and fun experience. Honestly, I love formal. So although it is more on just the fun side, people from a bunch of different schools, like students from LSU, I know came last year. They come and they have a fun time, and it's just a night that we can all share together and dress up and feel very fancy, and just have fun with everyone, not only from our school's organization, but with students from other schools. And I think that's one thing we find within the whole entire regional Vasa communities, that we always come together in some way or another. And so that's really exciting.
Oh, what a cool opportunity to build community outside of Ole Miss. Thank y'all for sharing that. Rebel Irish Dancers, what about y'all's favorite events?
Okay, I'll go first. We are still a relatively new group, so we haven't been around for 2 years, but my favorite event that we got to do, we just did this past spring, was participate in Rebelthon. So we were one of the hourly dance groups. So it was really fun because it's so high energy and everybody's there to dance and raise money for the kids. And so it was really cool to get to see that from a performer's perspective as well. And we got to teach everybody a little dance. So that was a lot of fun. Gabby, you want to go?
Sure. I would say mine was probably this past spring. So right before we went home, the city of Oxford hosted a St. Patrick's Day bar crawl around the square. And so they reached out to us about kind of following them to each event and venue. And we only had a couple girls there because it was right back from spring break, and that was when all the COVID announcements were going through. So it was just me and one other girl, but we traveled to, I think, 7 different locations around the square, when we had 12 on the venue, but we hit around 7 of them, and we performed for all the people in the town of Oxford, and people from the surrounding towns came in, and there were students there and there were parents there, and it was really, really nice to see people so excited about Irish culture. And they had a lot of decorations out and fun hats and beads for everybody, and it was really nice to experience St. Patrick's Day and be able to share Irish tradition with everyone else, especially because Like everyone loved it, and we would just go into different venues, perform, and everyone would love it. They would cheer us on. So it was just really nice to kind of be with the community and celebrate together, especially right before we kind of came home for the semester. So it's kind of a last hurrah.
Thanks, Gabby. And for our incoming students, just to give some additional context about Rebelthon. So Rebelthon is an annual event, and we have a student organization that puts this together. So it's a dance marathon. So it's a 12-hour dance marathon where all of our participants raise money that through the Children's Miracle Network, and that directly contributes to the Blairy-Batson Children's Hospital in Jackson, Mississippi. So we have that local state support. And then as our wonderful Rebel Irish dancers shared, we have different organizations that come every hour, and there's a lot of fun events throughout the 12 hours that everyone's on the dance floor. So definitely check that out on social media and to learn more about that event. So Esteem, I'm going to kick things over to y'all for your favorite events.
Okay, so like I said earlier, y'all, we have the annual breast cancer walk every year. And so that's my favorite event, simply because we raised money, and this past year we raised money and gave it to the local breast cancer center here in Oxford. We made like treat bags for the cancer patients. We have a big gold wall where we like get pretty shirts, everybody dressed up in their pink, and we walk around campus. And so it's like a really, really great event for a really great cause. And so another event that happens during the month of October is that we have a community service event with the other Big 8 organizations. And we do a community service event at the Boys and Girls Club for Halloween. On the day of Halloween, we'll do like a 2-hour event where they can go around to each organization and play a game and win a treat or anything like that. So the whole month of October is a very like fun month for me, dealing with the events and stuff.
So thank you so much. And then lastly, African and Caribbean Student Association, what's y'all's favorite event?
Yeah, so my favorite event was definitely the cultural night that we had last year, because we were able to engage the broader Ole Miss community and showcase African and Caribbean culture. We did a fashion show, which I actually got to participate in. We served African and Caribbean food. We had like a quiz competition trying to get a feel of how much, Ole Miss students knew about Africa and Caribbean culture. So just being able to engage the whole Ole Miss community and showcase my culture is something that I definitely enjoyed, and that was my favorite event of the year.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all. You all have a lot of really great and exciting events going on. So I'm sure our students are really excited to hear about them. Next, I would love if you could each kind of talk about, how would a new student go about joining your organization? What does your recruiting look like? What can they expect when they get on campus this fall when it comes to joining all of these great things y'all have been sharing about?
Okay, so for German Club, we don't really have a recruiting process. I guess my answer to that would just be to follow the social media and look us up on the forum. That's the easiest way to get connected. We send out like monthly newsletters and stuff. So if you just request to join, you'll automatically be accepted. Yeah, it's pretty simple.
All right, and I put that link to the forum in the chat, y'all. So this is where, if you haven't heard yet, incoming students, the Ole Miss Forum is where we house all of our campus-wide calendar of events, as well as all student organizations. So you can look up any of these organizations that have joined us today. There's a contact button, so you can reach the point of contact for all of our orgs. So that's where all of that is housed. And we can just keep going down the line, y'all. So Vasa, go ahead and take it away.
So for recruitment, we do things like, this virtual fair, or what would be, the first week that we have it's like the first or second week of fall where we have all the tables set out and things like that. And we do a lot through social media, and we try to get a lot of our freshmen to kind of advertise and talk about us and inform their friends that are probably incoming about our organization. And we try really hard to make sure people know that it's not exclusively Asian, by the name and what you would think. Alyssa, am I missing anything?
I think you're good. Yeah, that's it.
All right, Irish dancers, y'all can go ahead and share your recruiting process.
So I'll go ahead and talk about this one. Our recruitment process is pretty easy. You just kind of show up. There's nothing really binding once you join, especially because our first semester, like I talked about with the open practices, like you don't have to make every single one. There's no binding. You can just come if you want, bring your friends if you want, get some exercise in. I'd say the more kind of intensive program is second semester, and that just means we practice more. And if you want to be part of the show team, that means that you are coming to practice so we can kind of learn routines to entertain. So that's pretty much it. And if you want to learn more information, we post a lot on our Instagram and Facebook, so just follow that, keep up, and if you have any questions, you can obviously reach out to us. Thank you.
Yeah, we also do like this kind of event right now, and sometimes we'll be on like the front of the Union or Business Row. You can find us there sometimes. Yeah, and then as Gabby said, our social medias is where you'll find us a lot more often, as well as the forum sometimes too. So, yeah.
Ricky, you can go ahead and take it away.
Okay. So our recruiting process, it's not hard or anything, but right now our application is live. So we have our application link on our Instagram page, our Facebook page, and our Twitter page. I put it in the chat. And so basically you just go and fill out your application. Basically everyone who does their application, we accept. The only way that you are really considered a member after doing your application is that we have dues every semester. So it's $30 fall semester and $15 the spring semester. And so when you pay your dues, then you are officially a member. We have event where we, bring our members in, give them certificates for being for getting into the organization. And so it's not hard at all. It's a very easy process. And like I said, the applications are now live.
Thank you so much. All right. Our African and Caribbean Student Association, y'all round us out.
So the African and Caribbean Student Association welcomes any student who is willing to join us. If you want to join our group, you can contact me on the forum, and I'll be glad to add you. We also have a WhatsApp group that every member is on, and that's basically how we communicate. You can also join us on our Facebook and send me an email.
All right. And did you share that Facebook link in the chat?
Yeah, I'll share it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and all of our panelists, if you would like to share your social media contacts, I know a lot of you have already, or your email, go ahead and put that in the chat, and our students can kind of just take note of that as we go along. I've got a few more questions left, and like I said, before we close out, I'm going to turn things over to you panelists just to kind of open the floor to y'all, and then students will have a Q&A, like I said, at the end. But I would love to hear more of panelists about your personal experience with your organization. So tell us more about, what does your experience look like? What have you learned? What are some of those transferable skills you've developed? How has this helped you, and supplemented your academic experience on campus? How has this looked for you outside of the classroom and preparing you for those next steps?
Well, it's really just given me a sense of community. And like I said, our organization has kind of gone through like a rebirth process. I got handed the organization my sophomore year. The person who was running it had to leave unexpectedly, and I tried to carry about business as usual, but unfortunately business as usual was like me and one person in a room watching a movie. It wasn't super successful, and we weren't super connected with the Department of Modern Languages at the time. And since then, we've reached out to faculty, and it's really become something that is connected to our German classes at Ole Miss. And so a lot of the teachers will offer extra credit if you are in their classes. It's a great opportunity for people who are just starting to learn the language to kind of have some more informal practice time with people who have been learning and speaking for longer. It's also just a great time if you're not super confident with speaking to just kind of learn more about the culture, especially if you don't have the opportunity to study abroad. I personally, when I was little, my dad was in the Army, so I lived in Germany for 4 years, and that's how I fell in love with the language and the culture. And so I have a lot of unique experience and stories to share, and I love talking at Cafe Stunde about those things. And I have lots of like postcards and little booklets and like kids books for people to look through. I know that sounds cheesy, but like when you're a beginner learner, kids books are honestly like super cool to be like, oh, I can read all the way through that. So I just really enjoy the community and the opportunities for enrichment outside the classroom. And like I said, being an officer for as long as I have been, kind of building an organization from the ground up and learning what all it takes to make it run has been really, really cool. And I think will transfer into my professional life after college. So.
And I can just add one more thing to that. As far as tangible skills go, obviously being a better speaker is the clearest and most obvious one. And the best way to improve speaking, in my opinion, is to visit the place where your language is being spoken and to live there and, be immersed in it. So with me, I was supposed to be in Germany for this summer, and I know that in the fall and in the spring, I was coordinating a lot with people in the club to get my study abroad taken care of. And so if you are interested in studying abroad as a German minor or major, the club is a huge, huge resource because there are people, the people who have been there longer than I have mostly been there, and you can talk to them. And then there's also faculty, and yeah, so it's a great resource for studying abroad.
For my personal experience in this club, as I said earlier, I was a community college transfer student. And so, my stress levels were pretty high when I first came here. It's a new environment, a new school and everything. And I just moved up here. I didn't know that many people. And so when I was at the community college, I was an ambassador, and we always stressed to people that it's important to have a family support group. Your friends are your support group. But what's really important in college is having an academic support group. And so when I came here, I was like, oh my God, like I'm not worried about that right now. I just need to do my school. But I really needed an academic support group. And so this club has really provided that for me. You find a lot of people with the same major as you, the same concerns. Some of them are in the same boat as you. And so finding someone who can relate to you and kind of form some kind of support group was really important for me. And that's what this club provided. What about you, Alyssa?
Yeah, definitely joining Olvasa and then really participating. And especially over the summer while we're coordinating a lot for this upcoming year, I've learned so many professional skills. I'm working with a bunch of different really talented students on our executive board, including Marjorie, who have so many skills. And I mean, one thing recently, we've been announcing our participation as a team in Rebelthon, and getting all that together and sorted out, learning all those skills on how to announce something, market it, get students engaged has been really interesting. And I think every day and with every event, I'm learning so much more about how to put things together. And so that's really cool.
think Irish dancers, y'all are next. I'm looking at the, yes.
Okay. Can you repeat the question? I'm sorry. I just want
Yes, no problem at all. Just tell us about, your personal experience with being in Rebel Irish Dancers. How has this benefited you outside of, your academic life at Ole Miss? Like, what are some of those skills, and how has this developed you outside of the classroom?
Okay. Well, our club is, it's a dance club, so it's really great for getting like a little bit of exercise in every week that, maybe you don't really want to do otherwise. And then it's just like a bunch of team building and stuff because we're all working together for a common end goal of, performing for the city of Oxford. And we are a small club, so most of us do have leadership positions right now just because we are still building our membership. So we're all kind of, this year is the first year that we don't have our two founders. So it's going to be a different year, and we're all going to be kind of working together to figure it out. But I'm really excited, and we have a great team of girls that are ready to work into the new school year, however that may be. We don't know, of course, but Gabby, you ready?
Yeah, sure. I totally agree with Abby on that one. When I joined the Irish Dance Club, it's because I saw an ad for it when I was like looking into dance clubs around the area, because I realized that I wasn't really, engaging in anything that was like one of my old passions, because I did dance from like 2nd grade to like 10th grade. And then I had stopped, and I figured, I should pick it back up again. And that's how I found the group. And I remember everyone was so sweet to me, and I just kind of showed up, and I didn't know anyone. And like from the start right there, like I knew that these group of girls was going to support me, and it didn't matter where I was. Like, it didn't matter if I forgot literally how to do everything. These girls were going to be there to kind of help me along the way. And we just worked together, I think, so well, because we are so open to people of different backgrounds, that when we create our teams together, everyone just kind of works together seamlessly to kind of for the bigger picture, which is really performing, like Abby said. So I'm definitely very grateful to have that kind of support group to meet with. And, as you start to meet with them every week, they become your friends, and then they become, you're really close. And I remember I depended on these girls for a lot more than just, going to dance practice. So they really kind of become your family, and it's just a great way to kind of bond with other people and get some exercise in. So yeah.
And we keep saying girls. We do accept boys as well. It's just right now we are all girls, but we do accept boys. Don't worry. So I will say that.
Thanks, y'all. You're good.
So my personal experience, freshman year, I didn't really get into like organizations because I was just getting started on campus. I was trying to really see what the campus was about, like just getting a feel of how campus would be. And I didn't want to get involved in too many organizations, like because I was really focused on my academics. And so I heard about Esteem my freshman year. However, it was kind of late for me to join when I did hear about it. So my sophomore year, I went into it, I joined, and like I said, it's a safe place for girls. So you create a bond with these girls. You almost find your best friends in this organization, sisters. And so that's what it's all about. And so I've honestly enjoyed every single thing that we have done in this thing. This past year, I served as the recording secretary. And then I knew that I wanted to continue to serve on the e-board to continue to make the organization a little bit better. And so that's why I went for president. And so yeah, it's just a really good organization for girls on campus. And for you to just like, if you have a shell, like if you're shy, just get out of this shell and really just, get out there on campus and stuff.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so I joined Ole Miss last year, Shortly after joining, I was able to join the executive board of the African and Caribbean Student Association as an organizer. And what that did was that it helped me to understand what went into like planning an event. So I was able to plan the cultural nights, all the things that went into it, all the presentations, and how to get the food and all of that. And it really just helped me to understand how to go about hosting an event, and it was really a great experience. But more so, like just having like an African and Caribbean Student Association helped me to engage with people that shared my customs and traditions, and that understood where I was coming from and where I was going to, and just the ability to meet up with people like that really is really a good thing, and yeah.
Well, thank you all so much for sharing those experiences. Next, and I know a lot of you probably already touched on this earlier, so no need to respond to this question if you've already talked about it, but just want to make sure we hit every organization with this question about, you know, what does membership experience look like? We talked about recruiting, but how could, just to kind of help these incoming students really see themselves in your organizations, tell us about, you know, what does it look like for active membership throughout your organization? And we can just kind of, we don't have to go in order if you've already spoken to this point, but just anyone who would like to speak on this, feel free to share.
I would say active membership for German Club just looks like showing up
Yeah.
as often as you can. You know, you don't have to be at everything. You're not going to like miss out if you don't come for like a month and a half and then you show up. Like, we're just going to be so excited that you're there. I think the most fun I've had is when we've had like 20 people in the Honors College kitchen, and it's just been great. So yeah, just show up. It doesn't, whenever it fits with your schedule. Sometimes even officers can't come, but like we all just share responsibility, and just being there is the most important thing, because that's how you're going to get the most practice with language, and I mean that's how you're going to get the most exposure to the culture. So language and culture are our two things. But yeah.
I would say, just like Michaela said, it's all about showing up. It's how you make it. Like like I said, for esteem, you pay dues. So if you pay $30 and you pay $15, you want to get your worth of paying your dues. So come to the events, because we have a lot of them. If it's just a meeting for our members, come, because that means it's important information for you. Or if we're just having table events, it doesn't hurt to just stop by, show your face, you know, just any type of events, just come, because like I said, it's what you make out of it.
For us, same as them, we just ask that you show up, but I do encourage you, you know, the difference between being an active member versus an engaging member is initiative. And initiative can really take you a long way, especially if you're starting as a freshman. People, you know, our e-board, and whenever I came here, I showed a lot of initiative. I took any opportunities that I could to learn and to get to where I am today. And so as a freshman, you have a lot of opportunity and you have a lot of time to grow and learn and build your leadership. So I encourage you to be active, but I really encourage you to take initiative.
Yeah, going along with that, so you also pay dues for our organization. I think it's one for the whole year, and you're placed into family groups, so that's really cool. So you have your little family, and then we have our big overall general meetings. And not only are our general meetings so much fun and informative, but our family groups are really a chance to gather in a smaller group, get to know people. It may be less intimidating for some people, but we really do have a focus on family in our organization. So just joining, taking those opportunities, and also just being able to bond with people. It's really amazing. And that's kind of what it looks like. Just, yeah, like Marjorie said, taking initiative to do stuff outside the regular general meetings and family events, but also maybe joining that dance group for date auction, you know, stuff like that. So taking initiative is definitely important.
Anybody else that we missed that wants to talk a little bit more about active membership? Okay, well, we will, I've got just one question left for everyone, and then we'll open the floor. You know, these are incoming students that are going to be, could be the future of all of your organizations, panelists. So tell us, you know, where do you see your organization going over the next few years, and how could these new up and coming members, potential new members, contribute to that and help you get there with your like long-term goals?
Well, this question means a lot to me as someone who's kind of currently handing over the reins. As a fifth year senior, I'm kind of like stepping down, and like I said, I kind of created a student advisor position for myself because I just didn't want to hand it off and have it die. But anyone who wants to be involved can be involved, and I think, I can't remember who said it a second ago, but it is what you make it. As Marjorie said, initiative goes a long way. So, you know, if, you know, officers and things like that, those positions, they're not super hard to get. We can make doubles on positions and people can share responsibility. So I just really see a collaborative approach going forth, and I'd love to see it grow. And some of the things that we've done for the first time this past year, I'd love to see continue. So tailgating and the International Passport Day. And I really want there to be something each week for members of the Ole Miss family to be involved in and to get exposure to German language and culture. So.
In the future, I definitely see this organization growing as it has in the past. And as I said earlier, the best thing that freshmen can do is participate and just engage so that you guys can, you know, just pave your way to, you know, leadership and growing. And there's a lot, we always think sometimes, you know, I think I'm a good leader, you know, but we all have so much room to grow. It doesn't matter like where you are compared to other people, you'll always have more room to grow. And so again, just take initiative and engage.
I think it's us now. We just really want to see our group grow and blossom. It's kind of hard sometimes to do performances with only 5 dancers. So if we can get some more dancers, that would be fabulous. I mean, then we can do more performances around the square and help bring the Oxford community together, because then we can do a longer show as well. Because again, we have 5 dancers, and if our show is, you know, 20 minutes, that's a lot of dancing for us to do. So we'd love to have more people to grow and share our love of Irish dance with. Gabby, do you have anything to add?
No, I think you pretty much summed it up, Abs.
Okay.
For esteem, I can really see esteem continuing to grow, especially with future e-board members, because I know we have some awesome members in our organization. So I'm so excited to see what's going to happen in the future. I know it's going to be good things. I know more awesome events are going to come. One thing that I could say, that members that decide to join, they could help, you know, just by, you know, participating or whatnot in the events, but also making sure that your voice is heard throughout your organization. Like, make sure that, you know, you're throwing out events and stuff that you might want to do, stuff that you want to see the organization do. So that's how I can see the organization continuing to grow.
Yeah, the ACSA is looking to grow to a point whereby we can invite top African and Caribbean speakers or performers, you know, to come and perform at our events. Also mentioned that we're looking to connect with our alumni and provide mentorship and scholarship services to current students right now, to be able to get them to achieve their goals at Ole Miss and transition into the industry more successfully. So incoming students that will join the African and Caribbean Student Association can be looking to that.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again, panelists. And as I shared at the beginning, I'm just going to open, we have about 30 minutes left. We don't have to use all of the 30 minutes, but just want to kind of have an open-ended moment here at the end. If there was nothing that was asked that y'all wanted to share about, this time is yours. And then we are going to leave a few minutes at the end for some Q&A and the comments from our participants. So anything I missed that y'all want to share? Alrighty, well, thank you, panelists. Students, please utilize the chat function. If you feel comfortable unmuting and asking a question, you're more than welcome to do that as well. If you would like to ask a question anonymously, you can go on to that chat, select student leadership and engagement. That's me, and you can send a question to me privately, and I will read that aloud. We do have a question again. If, Vasa, if you could just share again how membership works for your organization.
So membership, you can just show up to our interest meeting. That one is not a commitment one. It's just to see, we'll tell you about our organization. And then our next meeting is when you can come and you can decide to pay your dues and you get t-shirts. That's pretty much it. That's all you have to do to join.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And then Jaden, yes, there will be a recording of this Zoom session. If you go to union.olemiss.edu, you will find a recording there. Do we know anyone on the call if we have a General International Students Club? I can search that in the forum, but if anyone knows that off the top of their head.
I remember there at one point being like a International American Student Alliance. I don't know if that still exists though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm doing some research in the forum right now, and I can get an answer to you hopefully. But German Club, are there dues for your organization? Can you talk us through that? We had that question in the chat.
There aren't dues for German Club.
Okay.
At this point, we don't have any, like, yeah, no. Basically, that's the answer, no.
Okay.
We prefer to do fundraising and make that kind of a group and collaborative effort. So.
Okay, awesome. Other questions, students? Okay, well, I am looking in the forum right now, and actually, you know what? I'm just going to take this opportunity to screen share what that looks like for anyone who has not been on the forum yet. So this is our portal. So if we wanted to search international student, so there's, international, someone had mentioned this earlier, the International and American Student Alliance. So that's one that you might look into. So if you want to search and continue to look at all of our international student groups, you can just type that away in the forum, and then click on that contact button, find out, and then there's also an email of whoever the leader of that group is. It's the president, Sarah Smith. You can look at their constitution and bylaws and then get a little snapshot of what that organization does. So take a look at that, students, if there are any questions you have or any other organizations that you're interested in. And that you just log in with your Ole Miss credentials. It's also, a lot of that information is public too, so you can just pop on and see what events we have going on as well as student organizations, and you can request more information there. I just want to pause for any final questions. Anything that I missed, panelists?
Sorry, did you answer the one how you can find the like recording of this?
Yes. Yeah, so that will be on our website on union.olemiss.edu. We will have all of our recordings of the entire involvement week featured there, and there will be captioning available there as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And panelists, feel free to utilize that too. If you want to pull off that video or share it with your networks or use that as a recruiting tool, please do.
Do you happen to know where the videos are being shared that we submitted for this week? Like where are those?
Yes, so that will either be shared on our website or we also are leadership and engagement ambassadors on their social media pages. I have been sharing a lot of content, so I would check both of those platforms. I'm not 100% sure though, but those are being pushed out, I know. And then on that topic, students, if you have just general involvement questions of anything that wasn't covered today, or if you're interested in starting a new club on campus, that's also an option of things you can do. You can contact Get Involved at olemiss.edu, and our student ambassadors will answer any questions that you have and plug you in with those opportunities. So definitely utilize that as well. All right. Well, thank y'all again. I want to thank our students for taking the time to join us to learn more about these great organizations. Panelists, I want to thank you for your time. Hope that you enjoy these last few weeks as you prepare to everyone prepares to come back to Oxford soon. So y'all take care. And we invite you also, students, to attend all of the rest of our sessions this week. We have some special interest groups tomorrow. Fraternity and sorority life is this afternoon, and a few more to round out the week. So please join us, and we will hope to see you very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, y'all.